All right, folks. Thanks for checking out the video. I want to talk today about the Chicago mayoral election held today, April 4th, 2023. Now, the Associated Press has called the race for Brandon Johnson, who has defeated Paul Vallis. Now, from NBC5 Chicago here, it says Johnson, who finished second behind Vallis in the February 28th general election, has built that lead with nearly 99% of precincts reporting. Johnson has racked up 284,000 votes as of 9:28 p.m., with Vallis at 268,000 votes. I ran for mayor to bring the city together, and it's clear from this result tonight that this city is deeply divided, Vallis said. It's critically important that we use this opportunity to come together. I've offered him my full support in this transition. I look forward to working with him and providing him with the support he needs to be successful. Vallis thanked supporters for their work for his campaign, saying that he called Johnson and told him that he fully expects him to be the next mayor of the city. Johnson started his campaign in late October after he was endorsed by the Chicago Teachers Union, and he racked up the support of other labor unions along the way, along with the backing of former mayoral rival Rep. Jesus Chuy Garcia. Now, I had made a video in the initial election when incumbent Mayor Lori Lightfoot finished in third place and was crushed in her bid for a second term. So obviously the race came down to Paul Vallis and Brandon Johnson, and Brandon Johnson has narrowly defeated Paul Vallis. Now they were running on, basically they're both Democrats. Brandon Johnson is running as a so-called progressive, and Vallis was running as a so-called moderate. Now, outgoing Mayor Lori Lightfoot was more of a progressive than a moderate. And Brandon Johnson is basically going to double and triple down on the policies of Lori Lightfoot. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, the voters of Chicago are going to get what they get with Brandon Johnson. Nothing's going to change. Things are only going to get worse there. I looked up a little bit about Brandon Johnson, and he has the full backing of the machine there in Chicago. And looking at a little bit of his tax plan, now get a load of this. This is from January. So Brandon Johnson unveiled a tax the rich plan to bankroll $1 billion in new spending on everything from public safety, public schools, and public transportation to new housing, healthcare, and job creation. You know, he's going to be Santa Claus. He's just going to fix everything there, isn't he? So he wants to impose a 3.5% city income tax on Chicagoans and suburbanites earning more than $100,000 a year, a financial transaction tax, a 66% increase in the city's hotel tax, which is already the highest in the country, a revived employee head tax, and raising the real estate transfer tax on high-end home sales. So now the problem in Chicago isn't that people are undertaxed, that they don't have enough revenue. It's that they're spending too much. They have programs and policies in place for decades that don't work, and they don't do anything different. They don't take a look at cities and areas that are prospering and maybe try to do things the way they're doing things. Now let's take a look at the population of Chicago over time. As of 2021, the population of Chicago was just under 2.7 million people, which is the same population Chicago had in 1920. Now, the population of Chicago peaked in 1950 at 3.6 million, and it's basically been on a downward trend ever since then because people leave. It seems like when people's political ideology comes up against reality, that reality wins. Now, the unfortunate thing is I would say, well, I don't live in Chicago. I don't care. I don't live in Illinois. How does it affect me? But the problem is that these people who have voted for this over the years, they end up moving. And where do they move to? They don't move to another blue area usually. They will move to a red or more conservative part of the country and still take their voting tendencies with them. And in a lot of cases, they screw up a lot of formerly nice areas of the country. So Chicago, you had a chance to get somebody in there who at least wouldn't screw things up as bad as this guy is. And unfortunately, if you live in Chicago, things are only going to get worse. So let me know what you all think. And as always, we'll see you on the next one.